You may not have heard of the Johari Window, particularly in the context of role-playing games. Let me show you something. The Johari Window is a simple model of self-awareness that can be used to analyze simple human conversation and interaction. It was developed in 1955 by two psychologists, Joseph Luft and Harrington Ingham, the name Johari being a blend of their first names. This is the Johari Window. Let me describe it for those of you with impaired vision, or who can't quickly grasp the model, or whose eyes are otherwise occupied, but whose ears are not. The window is 4 squares in a 2 by 2 grid. Alternatively, you could see it as a single big square that has been bisected top to bottom and side to side by 2 straight lines. A different way of visualizing it is as a house with 4 rooms, and I'm going to use this analogy from here on. We imagine the whole house to be filled with everything that is true and can be known about an individual. Every scrap of data, every measurement, every fact. Assume these things are discrete elements, like pieces of furniture. Each table or chair is in one of the 4 rooms of the Johari house at any given time. Which room a given item is in requires a simple process of asking 2 questions of each characteristic factoid. Am I aware of this fact about me? Yes or no? Are others aware of this fact about me? Yes or no? If both I and the others are aware of the item of furniture, it is in the arena. If I know about the item of furniture, but others are not, it is in the facade. If others know of an item of furniture, but I do not, it is in my blind spot. Any other furniture that does exist, but nobody knows about, is in the unknown. A simple exercise using this model is to provide people with a list of adjectives that could be used to describe a person: kind, friendly, observant, etc. The subject is requested to pick some adjectives about themselves, and others are invited to pick adjectives that they believe are true about the subject. When you compare them, where adjectives match, they go in the arena. Where they don't, they go into either the facade or the blind spot, and the remainder go into the unknown. How does this relate to role-playing? Bear with me. It will appear from the fog, I hope. When 2 people meet, there is a pair of Johari windows, 1 for each person. This pair of windows is specific to that pair of people, and they share an arena. If we meet someone for the first time and they are a total stranger, this mutual arena is empty. The arena represents the strength of rapport or potential relationship between these 2 people. It is built over time by a process of moving mental furniture into the joint arena through 4 simple communication processes. Number 1. Asking questions. This moves furniture from the facade into the arena. Number 2. Making observations. This moves furniture from their blind spot into the arena. Number 3. seeking feedback. This moves furniture from your blind spot into the arena. And number 4, disclosure. This moves furniture from your facade into the arena. Again, what does this have to do with role-playing? Well, 2 things. No, 3 things. Many things. Or you can ignore it, so nothing. Firstly, when we start a role-playing game, or when the party encounters a new non-player character, the arenas between these characters are empty. There is a common step at the start of every game, when a new NPC is introduced. The player controlling the character is asked to describe it. Describe your character. This step starts to move furniture into the arena where the other players can operate with it. This can be quite an important step, and yet the pressure to do it is to do it quickly and move on to the dice rolling and inevitable barroom brawl or rats in the basement. If I never tell the other players that my character is massive, brave, clad in the finest armour, they might never think to suggest that she goes toe-to-toe with an aggressive ogre. The initial disclosure sets up future decisions and interactions and steers the character's development in a certain direction. So this step is not about emptying your character's facade of furniture, nor is it always about sticking slavishly to only revealing immediately apparent facts about character height, weight, facial hair, race. There's a balance here. The GM needs to resist the urge for initial momentum and give players some time to think about their character's name, manner, and characteristics to begin the process of character-to-character interactions with other players. Part of the role-playing experience is character exploration and development. It is a continuous process through every game. Returning to the 4 tools I've spoken about, it is facilitated by asking questions about other characters, characters making observation about other characters, disclosing information about your character, and seeking feedback about your character from other characters. These are 4 behaviours that, when players use them correctly, make the characters seem more real and to grow throughout an adventure. This can be true of non-player characters as well as player characters. Thinking about a non-player character's Johari window can enrich player character to non-player character interactions. If you have a new player, or a player who is shy, someone autistic, using these 4 communication tools in a balance can help them see a way in which they can get more involved and draw their character and thus the player into the party and the world. The GM can help by creating space and tempo for player-to-player, in-character conversations. No one player should dominate. And adding this to games is a counterpoint to the other pillars of role-playing, such as combat and exploration. Secondly, GMs can use a Johari window and the concept of moving furniture between rooms to create plotlines for characters. Luke, I am your father, is a forceful and dramatic disclosure by Vader that moves furniture from Luke's blind spot into the arena, and also adds it to Luke's facade with everyone else he knows, i.e., it's now a secret that he might later on choose to disclose himself. If I keep my character's phobia of caves a secret from the players, but not from the GM if it's on my character sheet, then it increases the drama when the GM uses Chekhov's gun to justify challenging the characters with the need to explore a cave system. I'm going to call this Max's fear of caving rule. With apologies to Chekhov, but I was at gunpoint when I wrote this. If the character sheet lists afraid of caves, then the GM must ensure that the character must face going caving in the adventure. Similarly, if a character has no parents and no memory, then that's a lot of furniture moving that can be done. So, in summary, the Johari window is a simple way to understand what a character knows about themselves and how others might see them. Add a second Johari window and you can model what characters know about each other and introduce 4 simple communication tools that players can use to explore the characters' relationships. Ask questions, make observations, seek feedback, and disclose information. You can use the Johari Windows as a plotting tool, to use character development more in an adventure to augment combat and/or exploration. For those of you who've paid attention all the way to the end, you may have the same question that I did when I thought about this. How do I move furniture from the unknown room into the arena if neither I nor you are aware of the fact? I have some thoughts. First, learning more about who you are moves furniture from the unknown into your facade. Read widely. Does your character test themselves or study themselves? Do they question their self-beliefs? As a GM, do you create space and/or events for players to do this? Number 2. Playing games with others. Would your character roleplay with other characters? Have you learned anything about yourself as a player by roleplaying? Do you know something about one of your fellow players that they might not be aware of? Have you talked about it with them? Is this too meta? I hope there was something there to chew over. Observation. You look confused. Questioning. Was it something that you ate? Seeking feedback. How well did I explain Johari Windows? Disclosure. I always think I can do better, but I'd never stop editing the document if I didn't accept imperfection at some point. Heartfelt closing social rituals. Oh well. Cheerio.